the thing that kind of brought this conversation together in the first place is because Jen sent me a clip of a video that you just put out the other day that, as you know, has been making the rounds. And this is in direct, this is in a direct repudiation of Abdul El-Sayed and the fact that he, within 5 minutes, like a lot of these other people, they get their endorsement from the bigwigs. And now all of a sudden, everything that they fought for, they're willing to throw it out the window. Here it is.
All the way fucked up now. You've got me here recording this shit while I'm on a trip with my family because there's no way in hell I'm staying silent about this shit. Abdul El-Sayed, although I've called you out on questionable things you've said in the past, I ultimately gave you the benefit of the doubt and pushed for you over that sloth-faced eight-pack puppet. And we even celebrate your win in the hopes that this is a means to break away from the status quo so that we could help you tighten your messaging from now on so as to not fall into the Western narrative trap that has down for decades, such as never condemning a resistance group fighting for their literal freedom and to never say Israel has a right to exist. But what the actual fuck is this? It's one thing for to endorse you for her own political gain, which is precisely what she's doing here. But it's another thing to excitingly announce her endorsement on your platform. So grateful for her support in this race. What the fuck were you thinking? This is the same bitch that turned down a request from uncommitted movement delegates to feature a Palestinian American speaker on stage at the DNC. This is the same bitch that disrespected Gaza protesters by saying, "I'm speaking," in an attempt to shut them up from voicing their opposition to the genocide. And her as commander-in-chief, Joe Genocide and Biden, were helping facilitate. This is the same bitch that defended Biden and his decisions and publicly justified Israel's Holocaust of the Palestinians with the same debunked bullshit Israeli talking points. This is the same bitch that is married to an ultra-Zionist Jew who has undying loyalty to Israel. This is the same bitch that takes millions in aid money. This is the same bitch that met and shook hands with a war criminal worse than Hitler, Benjamin Netanyahu. This bitch was vice president to a president that provided funds and weaponry to the worst Nazi regime of Israel. This is the same bitch that until even after the day of the death of her presidential run could never admit that her stance and justification of genocide was one of the main contributors to her presidential loss. And this is now the same bitch that is now starting to notice that the world has woken up to this bullshit and is distancing themselves from Israel. In order to make another presidential run, is now reaching out to pro-Palestinian voices to mend bridges, inclusive of your normalizing ass, Abdul El-Sayed. I don't give a shit what any of you vote blue no matter who fucks, and all you ride or die Abdul El-Sayed fans have to say to me right now that I refuse to keep my mouth shut on this bullshit. And all your comments trying to justify this normalizing move, saying shit like, people are missing the point. This endorsement is not for those of us who know the Biden administration failed Gaza. It's for the Democrats who are still disagree with party leadership. The fuck are you talking about right now? Anyone remotely affiliated with the Biden administration that continuously peddled lies and propaganda to continue to exacerbate the Holocaust of Gaza, but also continue to fund and provide weapons for said Holocaust, needs to be tried at The Hague for war crimes against humanity, included. So while we say Benjamin Netanyahu is worse than Hitler himself, we tend to forget Netanyahu and the state of Israel only exists due to the U.S. presidents and governments that fund them. And by that logic, Biden and Donald Trump are just as bad as Netanyahu himself. And considering Kamala was Biden's right-hand gal, you might as well have put Hitler's right-hand man, Heinrich Himmler, on that endorsement as well. So while you continue to normalize with one of the direct contributors to the genocide we are witnessing today, just know that from now on, I'm speaking.
Okay, let me just say I completely endorse the message, but if it was me, you would have to replace bitch with cunt. Y'all know. All right, thank you. All right. Sorry, that's all I had to say.
That's hilarious. No, I appreciate that. No, I mean, I didn't know if you had a question to follow.
Well, you and I are on the same page with this.
Yeah.
I am done with these people. I think the election thing is just ridiculous at this point. And there is no middle ground with these people. And that is what is so frustrating. And you have gotten it all along. And that's what I meant. So I actually wanted to ask you, I know it's been so many years that I've been following, but everybody doesn't necessarily know you. How could they not? But I mean, there might be people that don't know who you are. Would you just give a little bit your background and, how active you've been and what you've been doing? Because you've been doing some amazingly cool things in the resistance.
Yeah. So my name is Mu'ad Hamza in Arabic, but I go by Mo Hamza or Mo Hams on social media, which was my original account that is now gone. I'm gone through 44 accounts, and on my 45th account that Meta has been taken down very quickly and religiously ever since I started speaking up. But yeah, I'm Palestini, Demi Palestini through and through. I'm 100% Palestinian. My father is from Ain Karim, which is outside of Quds, which is Jerusalem proper, and then my mom is from Tubas, which is a West Bank village. Yeah, and honestly, I've always been, I grew up with all of this, like hearing the stories from my great grandparents and my ancestors, my father, my mother, and just although they were, displaced in the Nakba of 1948 with my grandparents as refugees to Jordan. So all I knew as a child was really Jordan. Every time I visited my family, it was always in Amman, Jordan, and I never got a chance to really see Palestine. And as a result, a lot of my family, that my aunts and uncles who are significantly older than me, have never been to Palestine either, and are not able to until this day go to Palestine. But I, fortunately, as an adult, was able to visit Palestine in September of 2023, 1 month prior to October 7th madness. So I feel like I tell everyone that it felt like kind of destiny that happened, that I was able to go at that time frame, bring my 1-year-old son at the time along with me. It was an out of body experience. When I say I experienced every single range of emotion, I am not saying that lightly. It's literally when I'm standing in front of my great grandparents' home, same exact structure architecturally as I seen in the photos, but now in Ain Karim, it's a fully occupied, settled land, and there's Israeli settlers in my great grandparents' home. We still have the key to the home, right? So, as we always say, and for the right of return, hopefully in the future. But in that moment, I felt so much anger, but I'm also like feeling like euphoria and happiness, and like that I'm actually like here in this land. And then there was like this weird, painful sense of guilt that I was there, and all of my elders have never seen it and will not ever be able to see it, right? And that was I carried that like guilt with me throughout the whole trip, and I had to like call one of my eldest aunts and uncles to like apologize almost and say like, I'm so sorry, I'm able to do this using my American passport, and you guys aren't able to come here and see what I'm seeing. I'll refrain from sending you guys too many things. And they stopped me and were like, no, send me everything. You are my eyes and ears now. And I like broke down when I heard that, and it was just like a beautiful thing to hear from them. And honestly, that I felt like I was there for them. So coming back, I've always been passionate, and I've always been talking about Palestine like before October 7th, obviously, considering this has happened for decades to us. But I felt a new sense of purpose coming from that trip. And when the October 7th happened, I knew I clicked into high gear. I knew what was coming. I knew exactly what the reaction was about to be. And that is when I started to mobilize all my people and my voice even to say, all right, that's it. I'm all in now. I'm going to go all in, full 10 toes down, chest out. And I don't care what you have to say to me or what you think of what I have to say. Right. So, and that comes with a lot of, it's a lot of risk because I'm an Arab, and it comes with that, prejudiced or, that angry Arab type talk. And he sounds like a terrorist or some bullshit, which, my dad at first, when he heard my first like full on rant of anger, which I really did purely because it was more cathartic for me. I couldn't take any more of it, and I couldn't really sit silent or see how we've been operating very politely in our past. And no knock to my ancestry and my elders who have done everything they have been able to do and to put me in this position to say what I have to say. But they did it in a very polite way and in a strategic way of let's navigate the system and go around the system, this and that. I couldn't take any more of that, and I was like, that's it. Why are we navigating to what they think is taboo? Their taboo is not my taboo. So I'm going to operate within their taboo because I don't think their taboo even exists to me, because I'm going to speak what I have to say. And if you don't like it, then that's that. So that's kind of what my approach to everything I've done is put my entire heart on my sleeve as an advocate for Palestine, as a Palestinian, but I wanted to be as loud and proud as humanly possible. But that anger wasn't just pure anger. I wanted to be rooted in facts and things that I know for a fact I can stand on two legs and fight and argue with full confidence, in a sense. So that is something that I think has garnered a lot of attention with a lot of the people that are outside of the realm of Palestinians and Arabs and Muslims and which I think was the most fulfilling thing for me, is to hear people from all over the world saying, dude, every time you yell on screen, you're saying everything that my heart and my mind has wanted to say this whole time. So when I hear things like that, it validates my anger, it validates my fight for my people, and it really gives me more drive to be as authentic as I can be for my people, but also, you know, showing up in the best way possible. And that's essentially calling out the status quo that we've been living in. So like Peter, you mentioned that we're in endgame. That is how I'm operating now. We're in endgame mode. We have exposed Zionism for what it is at the extreme levels. Like, it is so out in the open that to the point where we're not even doing most of the work at this point. Every word that comes out of a Zionist mouth, every action that they do is really digging that grave deeper and deeper for themselves, right? So we are just letting them be them because we've opened that door for them, for the whole world to see what they are. And honestly, October 7th is what made that happen, right? So what I do now is call out the people that want to come, like now that they say ceasefire, I call out the people that default back into the pattern, right? If you go back to the status quo, we're not moving anywhere. We've already got them on the ledge. We need to kick them off that ledge now and not start moving backwards again, or else they're going to gain footing again. So I'm operating on an end game scenario where I'm going to keep pushing and calling out even our own, the people that call themselves pro-Palestinian and vouch for us, especially in the political sphere. I'm going to call you out if you start to backtrack and you start to say stuff that is backtracking all the work that we've done to get to where we are today. And that's kind of where I'm at with it. Abdul El-Sayed. I'm not there to cancel him. I am not there even to retract any like endorsement that I personally have ever had, because I swallowed my pride in certain moments for him, because he said some questionable things I've called out before this Kamala Harris stuff that I've publicly called out. I've tried to do it behind closed doors, and I did it publicly because I didn't hear from him. But the reality is, if you say something to the extent of equating Hamas to say they're just as evil as the
Right.
IOF, and I heard him say that on a CNN interview, I refuse to allow that to slide. No way in hell I'm going to let that slide. So we need to be able to call that out quickly, because I only say that not to make you look like shit. I say that so you can course correct. So if you're ever are on an interview again, you never say that again. And he hasn't said it since, honestly, since that call out. But now this is a different ball game. We've got someone who has endorsed you, right? Kamala Harris, who is an active contributor. She was a literal contributor in the exact administration that facilitated the hyper-sped genocide of my people, right? She was on camera, on podiums, defending every fucking thing that Biden said and did, and in every single waking moment, she would say the same exact talking points. Israel has a right to defend itself. Hamas this, October 7th that, even mentioned the debunked bullshit around 40 beheaded babies and rapes, right, and all of that, all of the debunked information. That is facilitating genocide. That is legitimate atrocity propaganda to exacerbate the genocide of my people, and you should be tried at The Hague because of it. So now you're in cahoots with Kamala Harris. Like I said in my videos, Kamala can endorse whoever the fuck she wants, right? In reality,
right? He can't do anything about who endorses him.
He can't do shit, right? So like, cool, let it hang. People, whatever people follow her, they heard her endorsement. Great. The second you, as a pro-Palestinian advocate, accept that endorsement and then publicly say that you're honored and humbled that she supports you, get the fuck out of here. There's no way I'm going to let you say that. And you detract everything we've ever worked for, everything you worked for on your little campaign trail. The reason why you won is because of our movement. Let's be very frank here. So and because of you used us as a people as your talking points. So there's no way in hell I'm going to let you do that. So when I jump on immediately to get on camera to say these types of things, it's not to bash him, it's to put him in check, because things like this hurt us and hurt our movement and hurt really a lot of Americans too, because you're going to keep the shit that's happening in America that literally has come onto our doorstep. We've been screaming from the rooftops, whatever you guys let them do to Palestinians, it's coming to America and all your other countries. And here we are today. It's already here. So if he's going to start to backtrack us in our movement, I'm not going to let that happen anymore. There's no way in hell. So I will call that up.
Yeah, no, and I agree 1,000%. And I don't think it's our job to keep them in line. Like that's the way it's supposed to be. And I find it like, as somebody who is sort of like, I would say your anti-Zionist Jewish counterpart in the come October 8th, I was saying this is going to end with 2 million dead bodies in a desert if we're not like really focused on this. I feel very enraged as well for a completely different reason. And I don't know if like I was raised Zionist and all this stuff, and my family was lied to and grifted and all this stuff by that movement as Jews post-Holocaust. Right. So I have the same, I feel this generational rage from this whole other perspective that it's just like, so, and long before October 7th, I knew this stuff. So then being able to sort of cross-pollinate with the people that are enraged on the other side of it has felt very powerful. Like that's what's been really cool, I think, about this.
Yeah, I want to actually mention this specifically. So I love the fact, I mean, honestly, you guys are some of the most powerful in the movement technically, is the anti-Zionist Jews that have walked through that door that I call the one-way door, or the door that shuts and never is opened again. Because you've lived it, you've learned it, and then you broke free of it, which is very difficult to do. I know that because it's been so ingrained in you since childhood, obviously, as we are seeing today. So breaking free of that, I commend any Jewish person that has truly broken free and is fighting on behalf of the Palestinians tooth and nail, and actually are using the same talking points that we are fighting, and actually saying the resistance is necessary when you are an occupied people. That is point blank, period. That is it. It is what it is. When you say that as a Jewish person, you're okay with me. And the thing is, like on my end is I've actually been lucky enough to befriend someone that was actually ultra Zionist. I had not befriended him at the time. He was just a Zionist, saw all my content and started to click into this like weird like limbo land, and asked me direct questions, very like thought provoking questions as to like what my stance is on these certain things. I broke it down for him in the most respectful way, because I could easily snap into my anger mode and go off on him, but I actually broke it down by facts. I am a very fact-based person. I will make sure I give you as many, because I operate on receipts. Everyone knows this about me. So I basically broke it down for him day after day after day after day. This is like months of just speaking to this guy on Instagram. He went from fully Zionist to the most outspoken anti-Zionist Jew within months, and like thanks me to this day in like the longest letters of just professing his love for all that I've taught him personally. I'm just one person, right? And that I've flipped his perspective. So to hear that it's actually this type of thing is working across the board, and like obviously it helps. And I hate to say it because it's off the back and blood of my people that we're seeing in live stream. It helps that now people are seeing it. It's not just me telling you, or me telling you to read about it, or doing this. You do your research, but like look at what's truly happening right now. That is what Palestinians have been going through for decades, but it's now just hypersped in a scary, absolutely horrific way.